Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan and thank you so much for joining us for our Thursday update for June the 1st, the beginning of winter on the meteorological calendar. If you go by the astronomical calendar, you've still got 3 more weeks to go. Let's take a look at the animated wind map. High pressure to the north of us, low pressure to the south, windy westerlies in the middle blowing across the country. And speaking of westerly winds, take a look at this great photo of the Northwest Arch around Kaikoura, sent in to us by Bernard Hall. Thank you so much for these, Bernard. These are great images. And this one here too, showing the very moody skies as that west to northwest wind blows over the Southern Alps. And we often see this at this time of the year. So as you see here on Friday, not so much of a northwest arch, it's a southwesterly blowing around the South Island. Rain on the western side and southern end, drier to the east and to the north. And in the North Island, you've got a burst of rain coming through from a fairly weak cold front, but it still might have an isolated thunderstorm or an isolated downpour or two in that as it moves on through, and then it sort of breaks apart to the more usual showers. Fairly settled across eastern Australia with that high pressure zone, which drifts a little closer to the North Island of New Zealand on Saturday. That encourages southwesterly winds and a couple of showers caught up in that sou'wester for the very western coastline. Otherwise, mostly dry nationwide, really, to be honest with you. There'll be a westerly wind blowing in the South Island. That will lift temperatures up a little bit for you because on Sunday, the temperatures drop as a southerly change comes through. Now, the placement of the high over Tasmania shaped north to south encourages more reach into the Southern Ocean and dredges up that colder southerly. So we will be seeing snow on the mountains and ranges down to fairly low levels, a few hundred meters maybe, depending on exactly the timing that it comes through. But we are seeing the snow symbol showing up around Queenstown, which is only a few hundred meters above sea level. So there is the risk of a few flurries there, but we're not talking about a major snow event, I don't think. I think it's just a little bit too warm in most of those coastal areas. And it'll be mild in the North Island for this time of year with those nor'westers blowing through, but that will change later on by Sunday night as that southerly arrives into the top of the country. But it's still kind of messy. It's not cleanly just moving up and around the country. This area of low pressure here near Canterbury, well, doesn't really move a lot as we go into King's Birthday Monday. So that southerly change, while it will be noticeable with the air temperature dropping, the wind direction may still be a westerly blowing for northern areas. So colder air moves up, but a westerly wind carries on. Low pressure engulfs the entire country, which means weather conditions are a bit unstable. Won't be very windy for the middle here, but windy westerlies at the top, windy southeasterlies at the bottom of the country. Now, as we go through to Tuesday of next week, quite a messy map there with that low stuck over us. It's a cold low because it starts off with that southerly, then it kind of spins it around 360 degrees, but that colder air is sort of stuck like a tire stuck in the mud there. And the high pressure zone to the south, it shuts off any more southerly air coming into it. So the system's going to gradually fall apart. And then there's the next big blast coming into Perth and Western Australia on Tuesday. And as we go through to Wednesday, it doesn't really advance a great deal eastwards due to that big blocking high. And that same high pressure zone for New Zealand stretches all the way down to the Southern Ocean, and it keeps that easterly wind carrying on. It's a squash zone between the low and the high. So windy, cold and wet for Canterbury in the middle of next week. Looking more wintry, put it that way. But the high pressure zone, like I say, will be cutting off some of that cold air. So snow on the mountains, but not expected further down to low levels like Christchurch, for example. If you need more information about snow, go to our websites. We do show the snow symbol when there's a moderately high chance of it falling. So we're seeing it in Queenstown and a couple of other places down in the lower South Island for Monday of next week. But that is all from me for today. Don't forget our ClimateWatch update. That comes out this afternoon, Thursday, June the 1st. Look out for that one. We take a look at the month of June and really the season of winter. What is it shaping up like for New Zealand? So more details with that video out later today. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow on Friday.